Miami is a city built on the visible display of wealth, but tucked into this landscape is the Concours Club, a private motorsport environment that operates on a completely different set of values. Take their annual Porsche festival. Instead of standard corporate catering, the club imports regionally specific Haribo gummy bears from Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, arranging them in barrels to create a fever dream of sugar. It seems absurd for a multi-million-dollar racetrack to spend its resources agonizing over the texture of imported candy, but the detail exposes a flaw in how we usually think about luxury. Most premium brands rely on high prices and a velvet rope to act as a stand-in for actual culture. When a person arrives strictly to display their wealth, they flatten the room. The conversation dies because there is no shared obsession to sustain it. To engineer real devotion, a brand has to look past purchasing power. They have to understand that exclusivity alone doesn't build a community. This shift in strategy is what Lilian Raji calls the seduction principle. It's an architecture of voluntary desire, a way for leaders to make their companies irresistible without using forceful persuasion. The goal is to make the customer's movement toward the brand feel natural and self-directed. When it's done correctly, choosing the brand feels like the only logical next move. This starts with recognition. Instead of vetting a member's bank account, the club looks for a genuine automotive point of view, a reason to love a specific engineering philosophy or a piece of history. That understanding extends to the environment itself. The club's team will begin parking cars at 4 a.m. just to ensure the morning sun hits a specific curve, creating a visual line between an older Porsche and its modern successor. When a brand reflects these hyper-specific fixations, it tells the enthusiast they are in a place where they no longer have to defend their obsession. To keep that audience engaged, the experience must fit seamlessly into their actual lives by ruthlessly eliminating administrative friction. The club has effectively weaponized its members' lack of patience. They use a gate app to bypass entry stops, calculating that saving a mere 5 minutes per visit provides a massive signal that the member's time is being protected. They've turned maintenance into a ritual rather than an errand. A driver can arrive with a damaged rim and have it repaired by the service team while they eat lunch at the club's restaurant. During the Miami Grand Prix, members use dedicated shuttles to bypass the miles of congested traffic, moving directly from the trackside to private VIP structures. For this demographic, finite time is the sharpest constraint. Wealth can hire help for almost anything, but it cannot replenish a Saturday afternoon spent waiting in a dealership lounge. By aggressively protecting that time, the club ensures that the member remains entirely immersed in the hobby they love, making the experience relevant beyond the track. However, obsession requires more than just convenience. It needs a way to prove that the effort is producing results. This is why the club rejects slow-paced group classes in favor of one-on-one professional coaching that moves at the driver's specific pace. Instructors use GPX-stream telemetry to assess braking, throttle, and racing lines in real time. It turns a difficult subjective pursuit into objective data. This data gives aspiring drivers a credible route toward competence. When a member can see their progress charted in fractions of a second, the pursuit becomes impossible to abandon. Ambition needs a safe place to develop. By providing visible proof of improvement, the brand moves from being a service provider to being a partner in the member's personal growth. When these elements converge, recognition, relevance, and proof, they create a shift in how the member views their own participation. At this stage, joining the club communicates the member's personal discernment and taste. It signals that they aren't just buying access, they are participating in a culture that speaks their language. The most desired companies don't spend their energy explaining why they matter. They create an environment where the right people can draw that conclusion on their own. While the setting here is high-performance motorsport, this logic applies to any leader looking to position their value well before the first meeting occurs. By moving away from force and towards seduction, a brand stops being a choice and becomes a natural extension of who the customer already is.